Our objectives in this lesson are the following. Describe the graph of systems of linear equations in two variables as parallel, intersecting, or coinciding. Determine through graphs whether the system is consistent and independent, consistent and dependent, or inconsistent. Appreciate the use of graphs of the systems of linear equations as a basis for making decisions, and graph systems of linear equations in two variables. But before this, here are the answers in the extra problem I gave in our previous lesson. Kindly comment down if you got it all correct. Let's have an activity. Graph to discover. Graph the pair of linear equations in one Cartesian plane. Then answer the following questions. We have here pair of linear equations and we're going to start with the first one. To graph this, we'll convert this first to a slope-intercept form. So we'll move negative y on this side and negative 1 on this side. This will become y is equal to x plus 1. This is the y-intercept and we're going to start with it, positive 1, it's here. And the slope is the coefficient of the x variable, which is the invisible 1. So that would be 1 up and 1 unit to the right. It would be here. Let us connect these points. And this is the line of the equation x minus y equals negative 1. Let's have the second equation. Let us move 2x on this side. This will become y is equal to negative 2x plus 4. This is our y-intercept. We will start with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And our slope this time is negative 2. So 2 units going down and 1 unit going to the right. It coincides with this point. Let us connect these points now. And this is the graph of the line 2x plus y is equal to 4. Now let us answer the following questions. How did you graph the pair of linear equations? So we were able to graph this pair of linear equations when we use the slope and y-intercepts. Next, how would you describe the pair of graphs? The two graphs form an intersecting lines. Next, how many points or points of intersection? We only have 1 point of intersection. And what are the coordinates of the point of intersection? What is this point? This is 1, 2. 1, comma 2. Let us continue. This time we have 3x minus y is equal to 4 and y is equal to 3x plus 2. Let's start with this one. Let us move negative y on this side and 4 on this side. This will be y equals 3x minus 4. Slope-intercept form. This is our y-intercept. We'll start with this, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 4. And our slope is positive 3. 3 units going up and 1 unit to the right. Let us connect these points, and here is the graph of 3x minus y is equal to 4. Let's have the second one. This is already in slope-intercept form. We'll start with the y-intercept, positive 2. From here, 1, 2. And then the slope is 3. So this is 3 units going up and 1 unit to the right. Let us connect these points. Here is the graph of the equation y is equal to 3x plus 2. Now let us answer these questions. How would you describe the pair of graphs? So the pair of graphs form parallel lines. How many points or points of intersection do we have? Is there any? There is none. And what do you notice about the slopes of the two equations? Let us take a look at the slopes. The slopes are the same. They are equal. And how about their y-intercepts? This one is negative 4. This one is positive 2. So the y-intercepts are different. Let us have another pair of linear equations. We have here x plus 3y is equal to 6 and 2x plus 6y is equal to 12. Let me start with the first one. I'm going to move x on this side. So this will become 3y is equal to negative x plus 6. To solve for y, I'm going to divide both sides by 3. 3 and 3 here will cancel out. This will be negative 1/3, and 6 over 3 is equal to 2. So this will be y is equal to negative 1/3 of x plus 2. This is the y-intercept. I'll start with it. Positive 2, it will be here. And then our slope is negative 1/3. That means 1 unit down and 3 units to the right. It will be here. Let us connect these points, and this is the graph of the equation x plus 3y is equal to 6. For the second equation, I'm going to move 2x on this side. This will become 6y is equal to negative 2x plus 12. To solve for the value of y, I'm going to divide both sides by 6. 6 and 6 here will cancel out. Negative 2 over 6 is negative 1/3, and 12 divided by 6 is equal to 2. So this will be equal to y equals negative 1/3 of x plus 2. Notice that we arrive with the same equation. So it means we are also going to form the same line. Here is the y-intercept, and then the slope, negative 1 over 3. Connecting these points, this will be the graph of 2x plus 6y is equal to 12. Now let us answer these questions. How would you describe the pair of graphs? So the pair of graphs formed coinciding lines. Notice the arrowheads. Both graphs will extend indefinitely on both directions. How many points or points of intersection? Since they sit exactly on top of one another, then there would be infinitely many intersections. And what do you notice about the slopes of the two equations? Let us take a look at the slopes. Negative 1/3, negative 1/3. So the slopes are the same. And how about their y-intercepts? This is positive 2 and this is positive 2. The y-intercepts are also the same. Let's have another activity. Compare and contrast. We'll focus on the lines formed. From the activity we had earlier, these are the graphs that we formed, and we are going to answer these questions. Which pair of equations has graphs that do not intersect, and why? So which one do not have intersection? That is the second pair. And why is it? Because their slopes are the same. So how would you describe the lines formed? When the slopes are the same, they form parallel lines. Let's continue. This time we'll focus on the number of solutions. Each pair of linear equation forms a system of equations. The point of intersection of the graphs of two linear equations is the solution of the system. How many solutions does each pair of equations have? So we simply have to identify the number of solution. And that is the number also of intersection. So for the first pair, we only have one intersection, so one solution. For the second pair, there is no point of intersection, so there is none. There is no solution. And for the third pair, since they coincides with one another, there are infinitely many points of intersection. So infinitely many solutions. Let's continue. This time, the slope matters. We are going to identify the slope and the y-intercept. So for the first equation of the first pair, the slope is 1. The y-intercept is also 1. This one, the slope is negative 2. The y-intercept is positive 4. This one, under the second pair, the first equation has a slope of 3 and negative 4 for y-intercept. The second equation also has a slope of 3 and 2 for y-intercept. For the third pair, the slope of the first equation is negative 1/3 and the y-intercept is positive 2. The second equation also has negative 1/3 for slope. and 2 for y-intercept. Let us answer some questions regarding the slopes and the number of solutions. How would you compare the slopes of the lines defined by linear equations in each system? So let us take a look at the first pair. The first pair, their slopes are different. Slopes are not equal. While on the second and third pairs, the slopes are equal. Let's answer another question. What statements can you make about the solution of the system about the slopes of the lines? So let us recall the graph of the first pair. In this one, we form intersecting lines. And this happens when our slopes are different. So if the slopes are different, we form intersecting lines, then we only have one solution. How about the second pair of linear equations? Let us recall the graph of the second pair. We have this, parallel lines. So we have slopes are equal. How about the third pair? Let us recall the graph, coinciding lines. And also we have the same slopes. So meaning, if the slopes are equal, it could either have no solution or infinitely many solutions. Let's have another activity, my types of systems. In this graph, we have coinciding lines. This system is called consistent and dependent. This happens when the slopes are equal and the y-intercepts are also equal. Let us prove that. Let us convert this into slope-intercept form. This will be y is equal to negative 1/3 of x plus 2. This one is also y equals negative 1/3 of x plus 2. The slopes are equal. The y-intercepts are equal. Again, consistent and dependent equations form coinciding lines. The next one, here we have intersecting lines. This type of system is called consistent and independent. So for as long as there is intersection, the system is consistent. If there is only one intersection, that is independent. If, like in the previous example, infinitely many solutions, then that is dependent. Let's continue. Consistent and independent equations happen when the slopes are not equal. Let us take a look. Let us convert this into slope-intercept form. This will be y is equal to x plus 1. While this one is y equals negative 2x plus 4. The slopes are not equal. That's correct. How about the y-intercepts? The y-intercepts could be equal or not equal. Consistent and independent equations produce intersecting lines. Last one for this activity, we have here parallel lines. This type of system is called inconsistent. This happens when the slopes are equal and the y-intercepts are not equal. Let's prove that. This is already in slope-intercept form, so I'm just going to convert this one, and it will be y is equal to 3x minus 4. The slopes are equal, but the y-intercepts are not equal. Inconsistent equations produce parallel lines. Let's have another activity as easy as A, B, and C. Compare the numerical coefficients in each pair of linear equations. Here is a reminder. When you compare numerical coefficients, make sure the equations are written in a standard form. That means ax plus by is equal to c, just like these two here. So now let us compare. So the coefficient of x here is 1, and of x here is 2. So we have 1 over 2. Coefficient here is negative 1. This one is positive 1, so negative 1 over 1. While in here, we have negative 1 over 4. Let's write that 1/2, -1/1, and then -1/4. Let us simplify -1/1, and that would be -1. Now let us compare 1/2 and -1. They are not equal. -1 and -1/4 are also not equal. This means a sub 1 over a sub 2 is not equal to b sub 1 over b sub 2, not equal to c sub 1 over c sub 2. A sub 1, b sub 1, c sub 1 are the numerical coefficients of the first equation, while a sub 2, b sub 2, and c sub 2 are the numerical coefficients of the second equation. If a sub 1 over a sub 2 is not equal to b sub 1 over b sub 2 and not equal to c sub 1 over c sub 2, then the system is consistent and independent. That is because they form intersecting lines. Let's have the second one. This is already in standard form, so let me just convert this one. This will become 3x minus y is equal to -2. So a sub 1, b sub 1, c sub 1 comes from the numerical coefficient of the first equation. A sub 2, b sub 2, c sub 2 comes from the numerical coefficients of the second equation. That would be 3 over 3, -1 over -1, 4 over -2. 3 over 3 is 1, -1 over -1 is 1, 4 divided by -2 is -2. 1 is equal to 1, while 1 and -2 are not equal. So it means a sub 1 over a sub 2 is equal to b sub 1 over b sub 2, but not equal to c sub 1 over c sub 2. If this is the case, we have inconsistent equation because they form parallel lines. Last one, we have here 1 over 2, 3 over 6, and 6 over 12. Let us simplify this. 3 over 6 is 1/2. 6 over 12 is also 1/2. So 1/2 is equal to 1/2 is equal to 1/2. A sub 1 over a sub 2 is equal to b sub 1 over b sub 2, which is also equal to c sub 1 over c sub 2. If this is the case, we have consistent independent equation because they form coinciding lines. Try this. Compare the coefficients A, B, and C and identify the type of system of linear equations. We have here 1 over 3, 1 over -1 is -1, and then 7 over 2. 1/3 is not equal to -1, also not equal to 7 over 2. So if a sub 1 over a sub 2 is not equal to b sub 1 over b sub 2, also not equal to c sub 1 over c sub 2, the type of equation is consistent and independent. Number 2, we have here 7 over 14, that's 1/2. -2 over -4, that is also 1/2. -3 over -6 is also 1/2. So a sub 1 over a sub 2, b sub 1, b sub 2, c sub 1 over c sub 2 are all equal. This means the type of equation is consistent, independent. Okay, for number 3, this is quite tricky. This is x and this is y. So make sure you compare these two. So we have 3 over 6, that is 1/2. And then 1 over 2, which is also 1/2. -4 over -8, which is also 1/2. Just like this one, this is equal, this is equal. Consistent and dependent. For the last one, 12 over 4, that is 3. 3 over 1 is also 3. -9 over 12 is -3 over 4. These two are equal, but these two are not. This type of system is inconsistent. Let us do extra challenge. A student council is comparing two venues for their upcoming school concert. Venue A charges a flat fee of 12,000 pesos for the night plus 150 pesos per person. Venue B charges a lower flat fee of 6,000 pesos but 300 pesos per person. Letter A. For how many guests will both venues cost the same? And letter B. If the school expects more than 60 guests, which venue should they choose and why? Okay, so let X be the number of guests while Y be the total cost. Let's have our first equation. Venue A flat fee of 12,000 and 150 per person. So Y is equal to 150X plus 12,000 pesos. While for venue B, a lower flat fee of 6,000 pesos but 300 per person. So Y is equal to 300X plus 6,000 pesos. Since both equations are equal to Y, then I could just equate these two. Let me do that. 150X plus 12,000 is equal to 300X plus 6,000. 300x, 150x, 300 is greater and it is positive. I'll move 150x on this side and 6,000 on this side. 12,000 minus 6,000 is 6,000. 300x minus 150x is 150x. To solve for the value of x, I'm going to divide both sides by 150. This 150 here will cancel out. 6,000 divided by 150 is equal to 40. So this means with 40 guests, both venues will cost the same. Let us check if this is correct. So let us substitute 40 in both of the equations. Let me start with the first one. I'll substitute 40 for x here. 150 times 40 is 6,000. 6,000 plus 12,000 is equal to 18,000. Now I'll have the second equation. I'll substitute again 40 here. 300 times 40 is 12,000. And 12,000 plus 6,000 is 18,000. So indeed, with 40 guests, both venues will cost the same. Let us answer letter B. If the school expects more than 60 guests, which venue should they choose and why? Okay, again, here are our equations. For more than 60 guests, the cost will be different. Let us try 60 on both equations. Let's have the first one. I'll substitute 60 here. 150 times 60 is 9,000. 9,000 plus 12,000 is 21,000. I'll have the second equation. I'll substitute again 60 here. 300 times 60 is 18,000. And 18,000 plus 6,000 is 24,000. So this means for more than 60 or just equal to 60 guests, venue A will be cheaper. So it will be wise to choose venue A if the school expects more than 60 guests. Since we are focused in graphing systems of linear equations, I will solve the same problem by graphical method. I will use GeoGebra in graphing. I have already encoded our two equations here, and all I have to do is to tick them. So once I tick this one, this is the line of y equals 150x plus 12,000. This is venue A. And this one, venue B, this is the graph of y equals 300x plus 6,000. Notice this point of intersection. This is 40, 18,000. X-axis corresponds to the number of guests, while y-axis is the total cost. So this means with 40 guests, both venue A and B will have the same cost, which is 18,000, which is exactly the same answer we had earlier. Now, to answer letter B, judging from the graph, as the number of guests increases, venue A, the red one, the cost is smaller than the cost of venue B, the second equation. So if the school expects more than 60 guests, it will be wiser to choose venue A because at 60 guests, the cost is smaller than the cost of venue B. You see how graphs could help us decide in making decisions? It's good, huh? For the summary, here are the things that we learned in this lesson. Take time to understand this. Now, it is time to check your understanding. Pause this video for more time. Let us answer. Graph the system of linear equations, identify its type, and state the number of solutions based on the graph. Let's have the first one. To graph, we're going to convert this to slope-intercept form. I'm going to move x here, so y is equal to negative x plus 4. This is the y-intercept. I'll start with it, positive 4, so it will be here. And the slope is negative 1 unit down and 1 unit to the right. Connecting these points, this is the graph of x plus y is equal to 4. Now for the second one, converting this to slope-intercept form, this will become 3y is equal to 2x minus 3. Divide both sides by 3, so y is equal to 2/3 of x minus 1. This will be my y-intercept, negative 1. And then this is the slope, 2 units going up, 3 units to the right. Let us connect these points. This is the graph of the line 2x minus 3y is equal to 3. Now, there is only one point of intersection. It means the system is consistent and independent with only one solution. Gets? For you to master this lesson, here is an extra problem for you to work on. Watch out for my next video lesson where I reveal the answer. Our next lesson is solving systems of linear equations into variables.